Cable Bahamas has always been considered the innovator.
People can have confidence in Cable Bahamas as a mobile operator because of our past history. We've proven to the Bahamian community that we are in fact able to manage additional services as a telecommunications company.
Customers expect the best from Cable Bahamas.
The technology that we bring is revolutionary technology because we know that the Bahamian public, they deserve it, and Cable Bahamas is here to bring it to them.
We are ready. Turn us on.
The Prime Minister says he's not delusional. The woman charged with her husband's murder taken to hospital. Grand Bahama Police search for a missing Bahamian and 3 visitors, plus 2 Bahamian explorers take on the North Pole. We've got those stories and a whole lot more tonight. I'm Vonique Tude and NB12 starts now. Tonight, Prime Minister Perry Christie and members of his cabinet traveled to Abaco on Thursday to tour the multi-million-dollar Baker's Bay development, which is on track to provide hundreds of additional jobs on that island. Christie told reporters he hopes this project and many others taking place around the country will prove he's not delusional. Dana Smith reports.
Baker's Bay President Michael Meldman said the resort already employs around 800 people and is working with government to see that number grow. Prime Minister Perry Christie said an additional 250 jobs will be created before the end of the year.
We are advised that Bahamians make up 94% of all construction jobs and the vast majority of full-time operational jobs. Employment is projected to expand from the current 796 construction and operational jobs to 911 by year end.
We're doing everything we can. We're working with the Prime Minister, we're working with the government to bring in more employees, because we feel we could actually go from 800 to almost 1,200 to 1,500 employees. And the amount of money that means to the local economy is staggering. To date, we've probably invested between ourselves, infrastructure, home construction, close to $700 million. And we have another couple $100 million in the queue that we're waiting to start. So, in the next 12 months, the Baker's Bay is going to be a multi-billion-dollar development.
The Baker's Bay Golf and Ocean Club is an exclusive private resort community which spans hundreds of acres at the northern end of Great Guana Key. The development, which boasts its own restaurants, shops, and beach club, has seen nearly 50 high-end residences completed over the past 2 years, bringing the total number to 70. On numerous occasions, the Prime Minister has boasted of the nation's recovering economy. His optimism has prompted the opposition to label him as out of touch and delusional, while critics have called for Christie to come back to earth and face reality. Pointing to the hundreds of jobs being created at Baker's Bay, Christie said it's developments like this taking place all over the country that will prove he's not delusional.
As a result of the work you're doing, as a result of work what Albany is doing, Lightfoot Key is about to add an expansion to their properties. In Exuma, we're going to be showing the Bahamian people in Exuma what is taking place, in Eleuthera what is taking place, in San Salvador what is taking place. I spoke about it. People said maybe I'm delusional about it. Well, I want to show you today, I want to show them today what delusional really means. It means these buildings are now being built and people have bought them.
More than 100 additional luxury residences are expected to be completed by the end of 2017. But according to Meldman, the development is growing faster than it can be managed. Christie explained the demand for skilled workers exceeds the capacity of the local Bahamian workforce. To combat this challenge, Christie said developers will mount a job fair to hire Bahamians from around the country, including 250 for construction jobs. The Prime Minister also yesterday praised the development for raising the country's profile, taking note of its rich and famous residents who range from Hollywood actors to famous athletes like NBA legend Michael Jordan.
This is my third time here, but someone told me about it, and then I came over and absolutely fell in love with it. So I've been here for twice in the last 3 weeks, so here. I like the low key, to some degree. I like being able to let my hair down. I don't have much, but yeah. Hide from you guys as much as possible. As much as possible. It's been great.
And on a visit to the Bakers Bay Beach Club, the Prime Minister's delegation ran into a celebrated former Atlanta Falcons quarterback.
Well, this is my third trip here. Fortunately, I got some friends that are members here, and we've been invited down to fish in the fishing tournaments, play in the golf tournaments, and it's a very, very special place on earth. I mean, I don't know that you can find another place that would supersede this. It's pretty special.
There's no evidence stronger than the fact that some of the world's outstanding leaders have chosen to live here. And I can tell you they're movie stars, they're baseball players, they are football players of major reputation, they are leading business persons, persons from Wall Street in large numbers have chosen to come here, and we've been here on several occasions where they've had sort of people coming in just to look at the place, and we've seen the high quality of people they are attracting here to Bakers Bay.
In addition to its marina, sprawling golf course, and growing residences, Bakers Bay also boasts its own hydroponic farm, where plants are grown without soil and a special nutrient-rich solution. The development is also building staff housing, its own BEC power substation, and has plans to construct a fuel dock.
Officials said although the development has seen a lot of growth in recent years, there's still a significant amount of work left to be done. From Bakers Bay for NB12, I'm Dana Smith.
The bail hearing of the wife of a renowned Australian podiatrist who was found dead in his old Fort Bay home last month has been put off until next week. Jasmine Brown tells us why.
That decision on bail was never made today after it was revealed that Vasily would not be appearing in court today because of medical reasons.
Donna Vasily was expected back in court today to appear before Senior Justice Stephen Isaacs for the second time this month. The 54-year-old was charged with her husband, Dr. Philip Vasily's stabbing death on March 30th and remanded to the Bahamas Department of Corrections. Today, Senior Justice Isaacs requested a stenographer be present, saying, "In these peculiar circumstances, a stenographer should be in place." Once the hearing proceeded, Isaacs told the court he had received an exemption letter indicating Vasily could not attend the hearing for medical reasons. Isaacs also noted that included in the package was a signed form indicating Vasily was refusing treatment. The note did not say what Vasily was being treated for. Her lawyer, Muriel DeSille, told the court he was unaware his client would not be appearing in court today and asserted she was taken to hospital even though prison officials knew she was slated to appear in court. DeSille also told the court that he and co-counsel Elliot Lockhart had filed a supplemental affidavit for further bail arguments. Assistant Director of Public Prosecutions Neil Brathwaite appeared for the Crown. This is the second time Vasily was to appear before Senior Justice Isaacs this month. On April 2nd, Isaacs refused bail to Vasily 3 days after she was formally charged with the March 24th murder of her husband. Last week, the appellate court directed a judge to give further consideration to whether a foreign woman accused of killing her husband was a flight risk. Among the reasons given for originally refusing bail, Isaacs noted that there was concern that Vasily, who is Australian, is a flight risk. Vasily is due back in court on Wednesday. Reporting for NB12, I'm Jasmine Brown.
And police on Grand Bahama are searching for 3 Costa Ricans and 1 Bahamian who have been missing for nearly 2 weeks. Authorities say 41-year-old Antonio Hensley McNeish of Freeport, Grand Bahama, and Costa Ricans 40-year-old Edith Porras, 46-year-old Alicia Urena, and 42-year-old Rafael Cascante were last seen on April 11th. Police are asking anyone with information on their whereabouts to contact the Central Detective Unit in Grand Bahama at 350-3106 through 12. A community activist is pushing for legislative reform in the wake of a Black and Veatch report on the Rubis Fuel Leak. She called it unfortunate, but noted it's not the only environmental issue New Providence residents should be concerned about. Kyle Joaquin tells us more.
The findings of that Black and Veatch report on the Rubis gas leak may have upset a lot of residents. However, a local community activist says there are a lot more environmental issues that pose health risks to humans right here in New Providence.
Heather Carey of Breathe Better Bahamas says she was disappointed to hear that residents of Marathon may have been exposed to harmful chemicals in their groundwater and the air as a result of a Rubus gas leak. Benzene, a known contributor of cancer, was just one of those chemicals detected. While residents decide whether they're going to take legal action, Carey recommends they come together and do what's best for them as a community.
What I do know is that the residents there need to come together as a community. They need to support each other. They need to put party politics aside and figure out how to address the health issues, how to get testing, whether it comes from independent sources, if they're not trusting that they're getting enough response from the government. But the most important thing is they need to come together as a community.
But Carey says the gas leak is just one of many environmental issues plaguing New Providence, like the oil spill out at Clifton and air pollution, either from vehicles or the New Providence landfill. Breathe Better Bahamas is pushing for more environmental legislation to be passed, as well as see more tests performed. Fort Charlotte MP Dr. Andre Rollins recently criticized the government for not pushing enough bills through Parliament that protect the environment. Carey says, for starters, there needs to be more frequent testing of the air, water, and soil for chemicals that could be harmful to residents.
Comparing levels to people on the out islands that maybe don't have the issue that we're dealing with. But I do have friends who live in these communities who have been sick from things that they aren't able to identify, and some of them have gone away. And you look on our Facebook page and you'll see the story of one of my friends, Tanya, and the levels that they're coming back with are so high, and they can only be attributed to environmental pollution.
Breathe Better Bahamas is holding a demonstration in Roston Square tomorrow afternoon in a push to get lawmakers to create more environmental laws.
We are nonpartisan. We do not support any party in particular. We hold them all accountable because no one has addressed this issue. This is a peaceful yet passionate demonstration. We have entertainers, we have school kids coming. This is for families. We have doctors who are speaking on the effects of the air that we're breathing in. We're providing solutions that we think the government needs to put into place and that the community needs to put into place, because we are all responsible.
Reporting for NB12, I'm Kyle Joaquin.
2 Bahamian explorers are back in the Bahamas after ditching the sun, sand, and sea for nothing but snow and sledding last week. Mark Roberts and Sean Adderley recently made the life-changing trip to Santa's hometown, the North Pole, where they planted the Bahamian flag.
And when you get there and you get to 90 degrees north, there's no place else to go but south. And that's a wonderful feeling. And then when you're holding the flag up and you're saying, you know, we might be the first people that ever did this. You know, we're not going to go to the Olympics. We're not fast enough to run, and we're not, you know, but that was our Olympic gold medal, and it felt fantastic. I mean, that was a real pleasure. And when you're sitting, you know, you're laying there in your sleeping bag at night, and you hear the ice creaking underneath you, and you hear a pressure ridge off in the distance smashing together, you're like, man, I hope that stays far from us.
For 5 days, the pier weathered a blizzard, went without warm showers, and had to sleep in a tent with no heater. Sean Adderley revealed it was his first time seeing snow.
First time, but I like the mushing with the dogs, you know, going over the cutting ways in the ice. You know, we had to use hatchet and stuff to cut through the ice to make pathway to get to our destination. You know, it was challenging, but it was something we was up for. We trained for it, and besides the weather, you know, the weather itself, when you start working, your mind don't be on the weather, but when you then settle down and you get in at the end of the day, then you try to avoid getting warm, the weather's kicking.
At times, their trip bordered on downright dangerous, but the two says it is an experience they will never forget, as they are now certified polar explorers.
The helicopter to the right is the one that came and rescued us yesterday, thankfully, because today they wouldn't have been able to rescue anything. Probably can't even rescue themselves right now. Those tents in the distance are where the pilots stay. These are the generators. The mess tent is straight ahead.
I mean, Sean was handling the sled, and he made it look like nothing. Even the head guy that is in charge of the dogs, he's done the Iditarod, which is from Alaska to Canada. It's, I don't know how many, it's like 4,000, I don't think it's 4,000 miles. I think it's like 4,000 kilometers. Anyway, it's some ridiculously long race that he had just finished. And when he saw Sean handle the sled, he goes, I think this man is a good man. He can handle sled very well. So he was impressed that Sean just lifted the sled up like no problem and got the job done. And
you're watching the Best in Bahamian News. There's more when NB12 returns.